Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. Before we get into our intriguing content today, though, let me introduce our guests back once again. I don't know why they come back to visit me frequently, but once a month. I guess I don't give you harassed too much, so you get you back here. Mary Walters, Samantha Rawley, welcome.
Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. Let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. This is a kind of an interesting one of celebrations today because being a little bit of a troublemaker that I am going to be celebrating this one a lot, but it might be hard to do. National Step in a Puddle and Splash Your Friends Day. I like that one. I could deal with that. I don't know where I'm going to find the puddles, though. This is Southern Calizuela. We don't have any rain, so we don't get too much water here. National Clean Off Your Desk Day. Not a chance. Milk Day. I did hear on the news earlier, it didn't come up on my report, though, that it was National Hot Toddy Day. So we might have to just go with that one. If it's true or not, I don't know, but it sounds better than all the others that came across my desk. Take a look at the markets. Dow Jones now down 77 points. It opened up down over 300 points. S&P 500 now down 14. The NASDAQ down 90. I wonder why that is. Oil down 15 cents per barrel. I'm not going to tell you about gas prices today. We'll do that tomorrow. U.S. 10-year Treasury, it's still going up in the yield. That's up to 1.13. Who would have thought a year or two ago that we would say up to 1.13. Fascinating me. Germany, they're still got negative interest rates. Give them your money for 10 years. You don't get it all back. Negative 0.494 is their 10-year bund. So you don't get it there. Japan, for about the last 20 years, you give them your money for 10 years. You basically just get it back. Interest rate on that one is 0.039. Isn't that exciting? Moving right along. Hey, what's going on in the world today? Is anything happening? I just thought I'd check in with you. I was out there checking some of the news out, if you can stomach it, over the weekend. And it fascinates me watching what's going on. We're going to get to a lot of it today. But I did just have a few things. Now, every once in a while, I say that I might pull my hair out, but I don't have any to pull out. So I just have to say, So you got to wonder what some of these insiders, some of these instigators are doing out there. And I think I found the exact, our crack team put on my board today, the sound effect for this day. So that's kind of what we got going on here. So if you watch the news, if you can stomach the news, actually, I guess it's not the news anymore. You have the ABC World Propaganda. It used to be the ABC World News, the NBC, or MSNBC Hee-Haw World Propaganda. Watch what's going on all these things. Loony Nancy Pelosi, she was on the formerly news show 60 Minutes last night. I can't stand Nancy Pelosi, so I didn't watch the whole thing. The excerpts were enough. You bring up the name AOC, and I guess she can't answer questions. She gets amnesia at her age. I can understand that. But watch what's going on. She's going to go down as the first Speaker of the House to fail twice at impeaching a president. Fail twice. Think about that. I mean, she's not smart enough to realize that if the House of Representatives impeaches the president, it cannot even go to trial in the Senate. It's now to, because the Senate's not in session until the 19th. The first time it could go to trial would be at 1 p.m. on the 20th. Yeah, President Trump won't be there at that point in time. So, but hey, Nancy Pelosi doesn't understand that. Apparently she's not smart enough for that. So what is she doing all this for? Well, maybe it's to get her face on the news. It's not because of her looks. I shouldn't say that, but it's not to her intelligence, so it can't be that part either. So why is she doing it? Strictly for the propaganda, to try and destroy the president. But I'm going to ask you some questions that make me say, So I keep hearing the fact, and obviously a lot of the Main Street comes up with the same commentary, that the president incited the violence at the Capitol. Now, I'm going to tell you right off, I don't condone violence of any sort, but we were told all summer long that, peaceful protests are okay. So what is it that the president said that incited the violence? Well, if you take one or two words out of his comments, well, then you can almost maybe stretch that far. But in his commentary, he says, I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to, here's the key word, peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. Now, you don't hear the word peacefully in any of the reporting. But let's continue even if that was the case. So why is it that the FBI knew ahead of time that this was going to happen, and they went and told some of the instigators and agitators, don't go to Washington? I don't know. Why was it that the mayor of Washington, D.C. asked for only 300 National Guard, but they could not have any weapons, and they were there for traffic control? I wonder where that is. I wonder, just curiosity. They've claimed that there was hundreds of thousands of people there. I don't know how many there were. I didn't count them. I do know some friends that were there. But how many people do you know that go to a rally and we'll just bring a package of rope with us? I don't think so. How many people go to a rally and they're going to bring some window cutters? That's something you need at every rally, right? So how many people are going to do that? How about wall climbing equipment? Is that one of the standards for a rally? You got to just wonder. How many people go to the Capitol? Now, you know the Capitol building has lots and lots of visitors. How many people know exactly where Nancy Pelosi's office is and know how to just go into her office only and take her computer? I just say, I don't get it. Why were the doors to the Capitol opened at certain points in time to let people in? I don't know that answer. Maybe one of the answers is this. This could be plausible, right? The rally ended and the activities at the Capitol started about an hour later. So maybe all those people went to the local hardware store and picked up all of that equipment that they needed. I don't think so. That's probably not the case. Why is it? Did you watch the video? Now, I know that you're not allowed to watch these videos because of censorship. So YouTube took down Rudy Giuliani's video because it's got a title to it that was probably hard for most of the Main Street media to understand. Yeah, Rudy's video is titled Common Sense. Yeah, you don't find that too much in Washington, D.C., but it's titled Common Sense. Why is it? In the video he shows, unfortunately, the 14-year veteran being shot. And it's not the most pleasant video. Ashley Babbitt, her name. The guard shot through a closed glass door and hit her. Was she a security threat on the other side of a closed glass door? I don't know. And a final question for you to ponder. If Mr. Biden legitimately won 80 million votes and was really the most popular American president, why are we censoring the opposition commentary? I just throw that out there for you to just ponder. I don't know the answers. I just pose the questions for you. See what your thoughts are. If you have any commentary, I know you do. Ron at ronsiegelradio.com. You can text me. You can email me. You can Put me at private messages, Facebook, not on Twitter. I am no longer there. So you can just check some of these out. Sorry, I know we've had several thousand people on Twitter. I'm not there. I did, though, all full disclosure, short their stock this morning. I think that it'll be dropping when you start seeing. Think about this one. Twitter has 180 million active users every day. Now, I'm not giving you any financial advice here because I don't have those licenses any longer, and we can't do that on public radio anyway. 180 million active users. President Trump had 80 million followers. He was tweeting, I don't know how many times a day, probably too many for most people. But with all of that going on, if they don't have anything to go and see, do you think people are going to be on Twitter as much? Now, some will. I know there's going to be some on Twitter. We know that. We can guess it. But I know that you're not going to, you lose the biggest draw that you have to anything, right? It's not a good sign. So I felt it might be the right time to short that stock. We're going to continue our conversation. We might get off of this subject and talk real estate. Yeah, we got a real estate conversation today. What's happening in the real estate market? We are going to discuss that with our millennial duo. What does 2020 have in store for home values? I'm going to actually give you on Wednesday, I'm going to give you our full forecast. We're going to spend time on the broadcast with our full 2021 real estate forecast, interest rate forecast. We're going to do all of it at that time. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter at Ron Siegel, no longer on Twitter at Ron Siegel, or anytime at 800-306-1990. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next mortgage, down payment assistance programs, yeah, they've got those. Get into a new house, nothing down. Think about that concept. Maybe they'll give you $25,000 to help with the down payment or get you that money. How about debt consolidation loans? They've got them all. Let's see what the markets are doing. Dow Jones now down 77. NASDAQ down 89. S&P 500 down 1169. 10-year treasuries up 2 basis points. We're going to be watching that closely tomorrow. I'll tell you why. But mortgage-backed securities down 14 basis points means interest rates are up just a little bit. And all those numbers, they're available, google.com, as long as they're not censored yet. But we're going to tell you why that's happening. That's the key reason. And a lot of it just has to do with the market still believing it's irrational exuberance. Now, again, I am not going to tell you any financial advice, but I will tell you that the market is in a massive state of euphoria. It's never been this high before. And I don't mean from a point standpoint, I mean from the public sentiment. And generally, when you get public sentiment this high, Citigroup actually has a model. The panic euphoria model stands at 1.83, 4 times the euphoria threshold of 0.41 at some of the highest levels in history. Think about that. So what does that mean to you? That means that people are very, very excited about getting into the market. Guess what the smart money does when people are very, very excited about getting into the market? They sell to you, right? So that you can put your money in at the very top, and when the market crashes, use all your money, they get back in and they take your money. It's just that simple. They're not going to tell it to you in that simple of terms, but that's how it really works. So we are watching all of these numbers because it just makes sense. And we got that 10-year treasury auction coming up on Tuesday, the 30-year on Wednesday. We'll see what the market sentiment is. When money comes out of the stock market, they go generally into the bond market. When the bonds go up, the rates go down. That's just a mathematics equation. And that is the Mortgage Minute brought to you by Geneva Financial. So every month, the Millennial duo, they come in and visit us. Mary Walters, Samantha Rawley come in and visit with us. And we get to talk about some of the charts and stats and nerdy stuff that I buy it, actually. I don't put it together, right? That comes out to us. And we get to give our commentary on what we're seeing in the marketplace. And we've got all kinds of good stuff to share with you today. And you'll actually see some of these things if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, if you're watching us on any of our social channels, or the AM 1490 ABC News and Talk video, we actually run through these charts while the commercials are playing. So you can actually see some of them. Never know which ones you're going to see. But just taking a look at some of them, annual home price appreciation. We looked at historical numbers on the first 4 charts that we've got here. And we're looking at 6 years leading up to the housing crash, home price appreciation. We're looking at the last 6 years. Doesn't look like it's quite as steep a curve on that top chart, does it? It looks like, because we hear a lot of people say that, are we going into another housing crash? Right? So when you look at the chart, it basically is telling us 2005, we had appreciation of 11.4. 2019, my eyes aren't that good. I think it says 4.7.
Correct.
Right. So it's not that we're not really in that exuberance. Like the markets are way up, but the real estate it's not quite in the same craziness, is it?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing right there. Months inventory homes for sale. Now, we've got plenty of inventory right now, I'm assuming. But if you look back in 2010, there was 12 months of supply. You guys probably see a lot of, plenty of inventory available right now.
Actually, no.
Wasn't a trick question.
Yeah. No.
I can look at them. If you're watching us again, you probably see them looking at me. Is he crazy?
Yeah.
And he probably is. That's probably a positive sign. Yes, he is
I
crazy.
know it's Monday morning, but
Yeah. So the whoops, I'm gonna get the mics a little closer so we can hear what you guys have to say. So yeah, we are seeing that there's no inventory. So before there was tons of inventory, people were able to go out and buy whatever they wanted, so the price kept going up.
Right.
Now nobody's able to find anything, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure didn't Stephen Thomas put out the report saying it's like the lowest inventory, right? Like since like 2013 or something, since he's been tracking it.
Yeah, it's I think we've seen some of those. There might even be something in here about that also. Total home equity cashed out. So if we look back, we're looking back in 2007, $240 billion of cash out. 2019, $89 billion. I don't know what it's saying to you. It tells me basically people aren't using their house as an ATM anymore.
Right.
Right, 89 billion. Maybe they're using some money to do some home remodeling, maybe pay off some debt. I don't know about going out and buying the new boats. Don't see that?
No.
Okay, let's see. 58.7% of all homes in America have at least 60% equity. You two have been telling us that for ages.
Right. There's a lot of equity out there.
Yeah, every month, and that's a fascinating number. Still sitting on tremendous equity. 42.1% of all homes are owned free and clear. Wonder if any of those people want to get a loan or want to sell to buy something, or do you think people that are free and clear are that's just what they want to be, and they're not going to ever do anything?
I think it almost like way back when my parents were raised, they were told pay off your house as soon as possible. Even my dad, I told him you just refinance my house, Ron.
Right. And
my dad was did you do a 15-year? I was no, I'm not worried about paying it off as fast as possible. I want to get it to a point where I can rent and have my mortgage covered and have someone else pay my mortgage.
Right.
I think the older generation is such in a mindset, pay off your house as soon as possible and you're good.
That's a massive difference, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And we are taught and we learn, no, you leverage your equity. Don't let that money just sit there. Take it out and do something. If you can take money out for 2.5%, 3% and put it into another investment that's going to get you 5, 6, 7%, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's I'm glad that you said that, Mary, because so many people are still of that mindset, the old mindset. And I can understand that if you're paying 12% interest, 13% interest, which was what I did when I bought my first property with 14% interest. Then you say, okay, let's pay it off because that's a lot of interest. Your debt is doubling every 6 or 7 years, right? Based on the rule of 72. So you don't want to. That's not fun. But if you're borrowing at 2.5%, 3.5%, and there's safe, secure investments you can get at 7, 8, 9%, or we talk about some guaranteed, maybe even insured, not really guaranteed because we can't say that, but insured investments that are going to get they got 8% over the last 30 years. Let's see, borrow at 3 and get a rate of return of 8.
Do it all day long.
Right? Don't tell FINRA, they don't like me saying that, but that's why I got rid of my licenses. Moving right along. Home price change during the last 5 recessions. This is one that I love sharing with people because so many people just don't understand this part of it. And what is this? When you take a look at this screen, so 2008, the prices dropped 19.7%. 2001, they went up 6.6. 1991, they went down 1.9. 1981, they went down up 3.5. 1980, they were up 6.1. I'm tongue-tied this morning. Seems to be an issue here. But that basically, you look at it and you say, do prices really drop during a recession?
Yeah, recession does not always equal prices dropping. Right.
Not in real estate, right? And now we've got the data for 2020. So now we know that 2020, they actually went up, right? 7.3%. Now, Mary, we were just talking about the idea of getting 4 or 5, right? To double or to go from 2.5% or 3% interest borrowed and get 4 or 5 in return. Real estate at 7.3. Now, I'll ask either one of you. How much do you know anybody, or very many people, that are buying their real estate for cash?
There's a few. I mean, there's investors that we know of, and there's a lot of agents that we have here that are working with investors and invest themselves that do buy with cash right now.
Is that the majority?
Not the majority, no.
Okay. So statistics are that there's about 30% of the people have their properties free and clear.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that means I'm a little slow. It's Monday morning. That means 70% are not free and clear.
Mm-hmm.
So 5% down, 10% down, 20% down. What do you see mostly? 30, 40? Any guess?
I would say on the lower end.
Lower end?
Yeah.
So because I'm a simple guy, let's say 10% down.
Okay.
So if you do 10% down and you get 7.3% return on the full property value, it's not on your down payment, right? Mm-hmm. So again, I'm a simple guy. Let's buy a $100,000 house, if you could find one, right? And you're going to put 10% down. My math is pretty easy there, $10,000 down.
Mm-hmm.
And you get 7.3% of which number? It's the 100,000, right? So quick math, that's about $7,300.
Mm-hmm.
So we put $10,000 down and we got $7,300 return. That's almost doubling our money the first year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good investment.
Yeah,
totally.
Anybody want to do that more than once?
Yes.
Right?
Please.
Just think about that concept. Right now think about that. Okay, now maybe to you $7,300 isn't a lot of money. I don't know, maybe to you that isn't. But you're not going to find a $100,000 house in Southern California. So if you did that with a $500,000 house, now you made $35,000 potentially. That's what the history number is. Think about that concept. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about buying real estate, especially here in Southern California. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We're going to continue our conversation with the millennial duo. What does 2021 have in store for home values? And yes, we've got a featured home brought to you by mysocallender.com. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Not on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, easy for me to say, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there is an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest, SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The digest tells you for free what the market believes or what the market believes about your property. It tells you for free what the county recorder knows about your property. Did I mention that it is for free? One of my favorite words. 2020. What does 2021 have in store for home values according to the latest CoreLogic Home Price Insights report? Nationwide home values increased by 8.2% over the last 12 months. The dramatic rise was brought about as the inventory of homes for sale reached historic lows. At the same time, buyer demand was buoyed by record low mortgage rates. CoreLogic, they explained it, I quote, home price growth remained consistently elevated throughout 2020. Home sales for the year are expected to register above 2019 levels. Meanwhile, the availability of for-sale homes has dwindled as demand increased. Coronavirus-19 outbreaks continued across the country, which delayed some sellers from putting their homes on the market. While the pandemic left many in positions of financial insecurity, those who maintained employment and income stability are also incentivized to buy, given the record low mortgage rates available. This is increasing buyer demand, while for sale inventory is in short supply, unquote. So where will home values go in 2021? The home price appreciation 2021 will continue to be determined by the imbalance of supply and demand. If supply remains low, demand is high, prices will increase. According to the National Association of Realtors, the current number of single-family homes for sale is 1,080,000. Same time last year, that number stood at 1,450,000. Think about that. Entering 2021 with approximately 270,000 fewer homes for sale than there were 1 year ago. However, there is some speculation the inventory crush will ease somewhat as we move through the new year for two reasons. Number one, as the health crisis eases, more homeowners will be comfortable putting their houses on the market. Number two, some households impacted financially by the pandemic will be forced to sell. Low mortgage rates have driven buyer demand over the last 12 months. According to Freddie Mac, rates stood at 3.72% at the beginning of 2020. Today, we're starting 2021 with rates 1% lower than that. Low rates create a great opportunity for home buyers, which is one reason why demand is expected to remain high. And you can see that chart on our screen, what the 2021 home price appreciation forecasts are. Again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv or the AM 1490 ABC News and Talk video, you'll see these things. There's still a very limited number of homes for sale for the great number of purchasers looking to buy them. And as a result, the concept of supply and demand mandates that home values in the country will continue to appreciate. That is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. We're going to continue our conversation. We go through our monthly market report with the millennial duo, Mary Walters, Samantha Rawley, Samantha Rawley, sorry about that.
Realty
Pro 100. Holy cow. I need more coffee.
Happy Monday.
I don't even have any coffee in there. Maybe I need more vodka. One or the other will work. So let's continue this conversation. Over the past year, strong home prices created a record level of home equity for homeowners. Average family with a home mortgage loan had $194,000 in home equity in the third quarter. Provides an important buffer to protect families if they experience financial difficulties, and is one of the reasons for the generational low in foreclosure rates. Well, generational low in foreclosure rates. Do you think that's because of equity, or do you think that's because of government intervention? What do you think? Government? So here's the question, though, that I pose, and I don't know if you've got any, just a personal opinions, right? So we're not doing anything scientific here. I don't even know how to spell science. So I just heard this weekend. I don't know if you hear this at all. I heard it's a family that wanted to get a refinance because they were sinking. Well, the husband had lost his job. Wife was still working. She could afford the mortgage. They were sinking because he had lost his job and didn't know that there was a program out there to help them with the mortgage. Have you heard that at all?
I mean, maybe it's just us working in real estate. I'm like, that blows my mind that you didn't know there was something out there right now.
Right.
That would help you.
Yeah.
So talk about what can help people.
I mean, with the forbearance right now, like, depending on when he lost his job, I was like, that would have been like my first thing to do if I lost my job. Like, oh, go register for forbearance, like we've talked about before.
Right.
There are so many people who signed up for forbearance, not even needing it.
Right.
Because of the whole COVID-19, just because of uncertainty, they didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
They signed up just in case.
Sure. So, and you can get 6 months just for asking, right? And they tell you that you get a 6-month extension for cause. I just heard this one over the weekend also. You want to hear what the definition of for cause is?
Oh, yeah.
Mary, do you want to have it extend your forbearance?
Yes.
You just got cause.
Nice.
That was it. That's all there is to it.
Wow.
Can you believe that that's what they define as for cause?
Yeah.
Right? And it's gonna catch up to people. But here's the thing that I'm curious about. Are people gonna want to go through the effort, which is not a whole lot, of the paperwork to get that loan modification, having the payments put on the end? Or do you think they're just going to say, you know, something, I think I'm going to take part of that $194,000 in home equity, sell my house and go buy something else that's easy? What are your thoughts?
I think you can go either way. So, I mean, I'm going to back up a little bit. I have a question for you. And I think I know the answer to it, but like, this is the first time I've ever heard forbearance, like in this whole COVID thing. But that's always been a thing, like, right?
Absolutely.
Like even before this, you could have forbearance. I think it's just more like common knowledge now.
Now because of COVID, yeah.
Exactly. Sorry, that was my question.
No, perfect. Let's talk about that a little bit. So, because if you have that question, there might be another person that does.
Right. Well, just like the person who didn't even know it.
Right.
And this whole thing's been going on.
Yeah. So the whole concept is lenders don't want your property. Investors don't want your property. Right? They're in the business of lending money to make a spread on interest. Right? They borrow it, say 1%, they lend it out at 3%, they make 2%, they're happy. Right? Or they've got money on the sidelines, they say, what am I going to invest in? Well, some of my safe money, I'm going to put in mortgage-backed securities. They don't want the property. So if you call at any time, it could be 5 years from now, it could be 10 years from now, it could be the biggest boom in the world. You call your investor, your lender, your loan servicer, and say, Mr. Lender or Mrs. Lender, I'm having some trouble. Can you help me? They're going to, if you talk to them, more likely they're going to have a solution. Forbearance is one of those solutions. And it's always been there. Short sale has always been an opportunity. It went crazy in 2009, 2010, but it's always been available, right? Because the lenders say, okay, I'd rather short sell than go through all of the paperwork of a foreclosure. So it's always been there. It's just that people don't, they'd rather put their head in the sand.
Yes.
Right? That's the whole thing. Is I don't want to talk about it. If I don't talk about it, it's going to go away.
Right.
Right? Probably not going to happen, right? So think about some of these numbers. American home equity, $17,000 average gain in equity of mortgaged homes. That's just in the last year. $194,000 current average equity of mortgaged homes. 38.2% of all homes owned free and clear. 10.8% increase in equity totaling over $1 trillion. Now, we have to remember that this is a fascinating number to me because all the numbers that we're talking about, the charts that we're talking about, national numbers.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. I'd like to see California's numbers on all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? So we're going to show them right now.
Okay.
Oh,
Sam, we got you. You asked me, shall we see?
Yes.
Year over year equity gain in California, $34,000.
Okay, see?
Right? So just a year over year based on the state. That's crazy, right? That's double what the national numbers are.
Right.
Right. So if you're thinking about buying now, here's the thing, because have either of you heard people say, well, I think I'm going to move to Texas?
Yes.
Wait, parents.
Do you have an idea what the equity value year over year in Texas is versus California?
I'm going to guess it's going to be like 10,000.
Pretty close. 8.
Oh, okay.
Right? So Texas, based on these numbers, and it's kind of surprised me, half of the national average, whereas Calizuela is double the national. So if you're looking for an investment, maybe it's not where you want to live, but for an investment, where do you want to be investing? Right? Where it's going up the most.
Yeah.
Right? Think about that concept. Arizona, 28,000. Nevada, 13,000. Oregon, 23,000. Now think about this one, guys. I know I've got a bunch of you that are starting to follow us in Idaho, Mr. Halterman. 29,000 is the property appreciation in Idaho. Right? Think about some of these numbers. They're growing. We're going to continue our conversation. We're going to see what else is on there. Frank Martell has some commentary for us. We'll talk about that when we come back. And the featured home brought to you by mysocallender.com, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and VCAL BRE number 018694452.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home segment today being brought to you by MySoCalLender.com. Featured home brought to you again by MySoCalLender.com. Who's got the featured home? Let's see if we can find it. There it is. There it is. Mike Dunn, 36 Plumeria Avenue, 5 bedrooms, 4 full and 1/2 bathroom. Stunning north-facing luxury home on a quiet 24-hour gated cul-de-sac. Flexible floor plan blends elegance and functional living. 4,052 square foot home. Formal living room, soaring ceilings. You can tell he writes these a lot. A grand spiral staircase, 1 of 3 fireplaces. Enjoy a chef's kitchen with upgraded Thermador stainless appliances. Sub-zero fridge. That means it's a freezer, isn't it? If it's sub-zero. I don't know. A GE wine cooler. I like that part. A beverage island, a center island, a walk-in pantry, breakfast area. Price is right. Maybe. $1,988,000. Now let's think about this. $1,988,000. I've got the numbers right there if you're watching us again. 30 years, 10% down, $77.86 a month. 20% down, $69.21 a month. And if you use a strategy, remember I tell you, strategy beats rate always. $61.86 a month. Those are the principal and interest numbers for those of you keeping score. APR of 3.45, 3.35, and 3.07. Got to keep those compliance people happy. And NMLS 217037. Again, the featured home is brought to you by MySoCalLender.com. We're going to continue our conversation this morning. We are chatting with Samantha Rawley, Mary Walters, Realty Pro 100, and we're talking about the monthly market report, real estate. So during the break, we had a side conversation. Every once in a while, we chat during the break. Right? Samantha came up with a great idea here about when we were looking at the numbers before the break, you heard us talking about year-over-year gains in equity. 34,000 in California, 8,000 in Texas. What's your idea there, Sam?
So I was saying, why move to, well, not why move. Well, I mean, why move? But if you are going to move to Texas, I said, since there's such a the equity gains year over year for California, why not take out your equity and use that money to move to Texas, but keep your home in California and use it as an investment property since you're getting such a great return?
Beautiful. That's the exact thought. And I think you guys talk here at Realty Pro about that all the time, about taking equity out and putting it into something else that's going to make more money.
Yep.
Right? So you're not limited on doing that just within the state.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole focus right there, is you can do that anywhere. You don't have to. If you take your money out here, now maybe you don't want to pay Calizuela taxes, right? But I'm saying do this legally, not saying to break any laws, but if you move to Texas and you still have your investment here, what's the tax rate? I'm going to give you guys a tax question. What's the tax rate on home appreciation that you don't take? Trick question. 0.
I'll take. I don't know for 20.
I don't know for 200, Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, it's 0. You didn't take anything.
Yeah.
Right? If your property appreciates, Mary, you mentioned that you refinanced a property. If you don't take any money out of it, actually, I didn't say that. If it appreciates, what's your tax liability? Zero at that time, right?
Yeah.
Until you take it out, or I mean, if you could do I'm not going to get too technical here, but you can do a 1031 exchange and buy something else, and your tax liability is still zero, right? Because you don't have constructive receipt is the technical term. So as Samantha was telling us, take your money out of the California real estate. You can move to Texas if that's what you desire. Buy, rent, squat, I don't care. You can do that in there, right? Any of those things, but keep that appreciation coming.
Of course.
Right? You can take that money out, buy another property in California, and still move to Texas.
Yeah.
Right? All of those things are possibilities. So think about that concept. That's why you want to sit down with a professional, right? The ladies are both professionals in real estate. Sit down with them and talk about a strategy. I'm going to post it right now. My favorite term, or one of my favorites, I know free is my favorite word, strategy. Strategy beats rate always. When we talk about lending, we always talk about strategy being rate. You can pay more money. I had somebody recently refinance, and they went from this was last year, they went from a 4.25% interest rate to a 4.5% interest rate. Now, they didn't have the best credit in the world, but they saved $600 a month. 4.25 to 4.5, save $600. It's called strategy. You have to understand how that works, how that benefits you. Let's continue our journey with the market report. Housing market has remained strong pillar in an otherwise tumultuous economic year. A sharp rise in demand spurred by record low interest rate continues to bolster homeowner equity, and with many people now spending more time than ever before at home, some homeowners have tapped into their strengthening equity to fund renovations. That's according to Frank Martell, president and CEO of CoreLogic. So have you heard of anybody doing that, taking money out to repair their house?
I've heard it before.
Yeah, like
You're not hearing it a lot now?
not right now, no.
Okay, so it's an option, but according to the national, that's the beauty of having the ladies here, right? So the national information we're getting may not be quite coinciding with what we're seeing locally on the ground, because remember, real estate is all local, right? And just because they're saying that what they're seeing, it's not happening, could be in Riverside that it is, right? It could be in Indio. Yep. Well, I don't know about India, but it could be in India that it is too, right? Potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years. Now, I love this one because I'm not going to give you this trick question. The Home Price Expectation Survey. They actually survey over 100 economists and professionals in the industry. Put all those numbers together, and this is what they come up with. 2021. So they're looking at potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years. Look at $354,000 by 2026. National, right? Remember,
a lot more in California.
Right.
Bring it back to California, and it's going to be significantly higher. That's one of the beauties of what we're talking about. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit, actually a lot on Wednesday. We're going to talk about the 2021 forecast. We're going to give you our numbers for interest rates. We're going to give you our numbers for real estate. We're going to tell you a lot of places. They came out pretty close last year. We did not expect a pandemic when we came out with our forecast, but we did tell you that the 10-year Treasury was going to go down below 50 basis points. So next on our list here, despite the best intentions of home builders to provide more housing supply, the big short in housing supply will continue into 2021 and likely keep house price appreciation flying high. That's Mark Fleming, the chief economist at First American. That's a big company. Home price forecast for 2021. I don't have the name. I can't see it on here. Okay. It's because I can't read the bottom of the chart, apparently. Right. So CoreLogic, that's a fascinating one to me, right? They came out with 4.1%. Back in March last year, if you remember when we talked about this.
Wasn't it like -6 or something?
-6.6, exactly. So maybe they've caught on a little because they were off so much last year. But the worst case here, MBA, worst case is 2%. Right? So, and these are, again, national numbers. Calizuela, we're going to be higher than these numbers. Now, think about this. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, out of all the numbers I see here, Ivy Zellman and Associates, she's great. CoreLogic is usually great. All the other ones, though, just as a consumer advocate, right, they've all got a vested interest in telling us the information, right? National Association of Realtors, you think they're going to tell you, let's go buy a house, it's going to depreciate. Right? Probably not what you're going to hear from them. Realtor.com, Freddie Mac, the Mortgage Bankers Association, they're going to tell you interest rates are going down further, let's refinance. No, probably not. Yeah, so they've all got vested interest. So Zellman and Associates, she's a paid service. If she gets it wrong too often, are you going to keep buying it? No, right? So that's big issue there. So just a little bit of information to share with you if you want more information. And these are all, again, national numbers. Do you want the local numbers? Well, if that's the case, you need to call a local real estate professional. They're sitting with me right now, Mary Walters, Samantha Rawley, Realty Pro 100. Give them a call. They'd be more than happy to do evaluations for you of your property. Or if you're not in the local area, give me a call or the ladies a call and they'll know where to put you. And again, as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we always speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against.